4 of us are students at Algonquin College. We're in the game program. We all love games and want to have a part in making them. But there's a problem, guys. They're teaching us how to make games, but they're not teaching us how to make good games.
Yeah.
You could feel the eye roll, the air. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's what we're here to do. That's what this podcast is about. We're going to do research on game design. We're going to educate ourselves, and we're going to become better developers.
Or we're going to die trying.
We're going to die trying. We're going to review what's going on in the industry. We're going to look at game news. We're going to have discussions about game topics.
Couple rants here and there.
Many rants.
Many rants. We're nerds. Let's not lie to these people.
But we're going to do it all from the perspective of aspiring game developers. And to help you, the audience, get to know us and really to help us get to know each other, I've got some introductory questions in this introductory episode of the normal ones of game dev.
Which I think that they're going to have to decide after hearing what we have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Either that or question the degenerates that are within our ranks.
Because if we're the normal ones.
Yeah, if we're the normal ones.
Yes.
God help us.
And I mean, we kind of are.
I know.
We like to pretend we are, at least.
Yeah, that's a sad thing.
Well, I mean, I don't have a goatee on my Adam's apple, so I think I'm already ahead of the game.
You're so far ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just immediately.
No, I just have a bush on my face.
Yeah. That's fine.
Should I grow a beard?
You should grow a beard.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're able to, do it.
All right.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'll start with myself.
Cool.
My name is Liam.
We're not getting more. We're just staying at a first name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm from the U.S. We're all in Ottawa, by the way.
Yeah, we're from the capital of Canada. We make the red tape here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we only have one American here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you're kind anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, don't get ahead of yourself, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just moved, 2 years before the recording of this, to Canada for more than one reason.
Yeah, you're trying
including
to escape the bombs.
escape. There's so many things.
Yeah.
To escape.
Mm-hmm. Crippling debt. That just tragic.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
What doesn't follow you across the border?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that.
I mean, at least you're allowed to cross the border.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they're like.
Well, he's not a visual.
Not gonna let me back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not gonna let me back, but I don't wanna. I don't wanna go back.
Well, why would they want you?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. No, I wasn't handing you my phone. I was gesturing, which is really not something I should be doing.
No.
Renee.
Yeah.
My name's Renee. I am Canadian, as you said. I am an artist. I love 3D modeling, animation, almost all the arts, actually. I started in 2D art, then moved to non-traditional art, so I did sculpting and painting and stuff as a bit. I can't code at all, so that's painful.
Hey, you made it this far. You made it to year 3 with no coding, so
3 of
Woo!
That's an accomplishment.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My blood, sweat, and tears and trying to get other people to teach me. It works sometimes.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. My name's Abdul. I'm a programmer. And I can't draw for shit, but, we won't get into that.
Yeah. But you made it to the 3rd year.
I made it to the
Yeah,
third year
yeah.
just programming. Yeah. I hadn't really, I played a lot of games, and I was, a big gamer, but I wasn't really, I didn't really, understand like the work behind it. I just thought you just make a game or whatever. It's just that I didn't actually know how much work goes into these things and how much time and effort people put into these things until I actually did it. It was a real eye opener, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like we can all
Yeah.
attest to that. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm mostly programmer, C++. I'm dabbling in C# right now. I'm pretty confident in my skills in Unreal. I'm trying out Unity at the moment. Yeah, that's really it about me. You could throw it on to Dave.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm the final piece of this quad.
Yeah.
My name's David Shane, and similar to Renee, my background is in traditional 2D art. I don't want to say that I don't know how to code, but I'm not good at it. I feel like that's a fair assessment. I've made it to year 3. Yeah, I think we're all in that boat as well. But
At least we think so.
yeah, at least we think. Yeah,
Haven't been informed otherwise.
yeah, exactly right.
I think it would have informed you by now.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're waiting until the end of the summer to see who.
Oh yeah,
actually-
that's right. There was a bunch of people who we don't know if some people passed or not.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I guess a little backstory to that is our school had a strike for the teachers during our first year. And now
Yeah.
they're trying to catch up because so many students dropped out because of it. They're trying to get as many students to pass the final year. So
We also had a thing where our curriculum changed, and now we're doing
Mm.
streamline education.
It's a whole bunch of crazy fun.
Yeah.
So much fun
Yeah.
stuff.
It's a bunch of bullshit, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb, but I think hopefully it'll be good for all of us. I mean, we're all kind of fit into our niches now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Liam
Knows anything.
what would you say your thing is? Whereas Abdul, his is
His
programming.
face
Yeah.
I was
Well,
art.
yeah.
I say Liam's a level designer.
Yeah, I was
Speak
gonna
for
say
you.
your
Like, you're a
level
pretty
design
good
is
level
pretty
designer.
dope.
Yeah, I mean, I like. So here's a good transition.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the next question. That first question was, "Who are you?" I have that written down on my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
The
We're
next.
very professional and organized.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The next question I have is, why'd you join game dev?
Okay.
And for me, so when we moved, I had gone to a community college, Berkshire Community College specifically,
Shout out.
and yeah,
Yeah.
Any
BCC.
Sponsor.
Yeah, I'm sure it was fine.
Yeah.
Didn't do great there.
Okay.
I went for environmental science.
Yawn.
So yeah, Mhm. Yeah. So 1 year that sort of like just bummed around, worked at a couple places, worked on the family farm, and then the family farm wasn't doing so hot. So
the debt,
Yeah.
as we said before.
as family farms normally turn out.
mm-hmm. So my Canadian parents were like, "Yep, time to return to the motherland,"
yeah.
and
Our
so
childhood is forever tainted
mhm.
living in the United States.
So my parents, they're like, "Oh, your cousin Ryan, he goes to this college. Why don't you see what's going on there?" And the most interesting program here was game development.
Yeah.
I had previously thought about doing game development, and I went, "Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Not for me. Not my thing." But then I was accepted into the program, so I'm like, "Oh shit!
Might as well try.
Now I gotta like do it."
Yeah.
Now I'm like all into it. I like games. I want to make games.
Yeah. See,
Which
your story always makes me laugh because you I feel like Renee's, Abdul's, and I's are very like, well, we wanted to go into it. Well, Renee's, yours is a little like you kind of came into it not similar to Liam in a sense, right?
Yeah, I was one of those serial kids in high school where I did not know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I spent the
Mhm.
first 4 years, I was one of those jack of all trades where I knew I loved art, but I had seen how being an artist isn't, like my mother was an artist and it didn't make enough money, so she stopped. So I was
Fair.
too afraid to become an artist. And I took, those tests that you take in
Yeah, the
high
two
school?
tests. Yeah.
I took that 6 times. And
Okay.
every single time I got some job that I was like,
Janitor.
well, no, it was like,
I'm not shitting on janitors. I
Yeah,
feel like I
we
should.
need
like,
them.
You,
You guys do great.
you do the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was like, own a tree farm or something, or one of them was like one was like bison farming, which is
arborist.
yeah, an arborist. Seriously, I love animals, and I grew up on a farm just like Liam, and I was like, I can't see myself just moving into the middle of nowhere and being a bison farmer. It'd be so cool, but I couldn't do it. And I just remember our school offered a coding class in our final year, so I took it. And
we were gonna say a bison breeding class.
Yeah. and I did not take it.
Yeah, it was like I ran.
Yeah.
And where are bisons not found? A computer lab.
I remember, and it was just such a great time. It was one of the first high school classes I ever took that I fully enjoyed. We used Scratch. They would, if you know what Scratch is, it's one of the
Scratch garbage.
It's absolutely it's literally how you teach babies to code.
Oh, okay.
And but it was so much fun. And I remember the last thing we did in that class is with Blender. We made a full game, which isn't really a game because Blender does everything for you. But I had so much fun and I enjoyed it so much. It's what I decided to do. I had such a love for games, and I just never realized that you could actually be a game dev until then.
Oh,
so
fair.
then I threw myself full into it. So
I was gonna say, like, we don't actually make games.
No.
Have you seen what we make?
no, we make trash. We make
we
hot
make hot trash.
Yeah.
Real hot trash.
We made stuff.
I mean, I
Yeah,
did make
sure.
hot trash. That game was fun.
Michael's
Project
game?
Emerald
Yeah, Michael's
Lightning
game
was
was
great.
fun, yeah.
Emerald
Yeah.
Lightning? Yeah.
Yeah,
If you could
I
play
showed
it.
at E3.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't show it at E3.
It's because we don't have a cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
We'll save that
sure.
for later. We'll save that for later.
Yeah, we'll do that
Wow,
after.
cinematic trailer, motherfucker.
How about
Abdul's
you?
like a loaded cannon right now.
Yeah.
He's just heating up. over
Loaded,
fucking
ready to blow up.
What was the question again? What the fuck are we talking about?
Why did you choose to go into game dev, Dave?
Oh, I've always wanted to get into game dev. I don't know. I've always liked games, so I'm just a huge toddler that has never grown up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Everything makes
Can
so
you
much
see
sense.
it now?
That's-
Yeah. Yeah.
A toddler that was allowed to carry.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, like, man. So I should probably say I'm the oldest out of the group, and I can distinctly remember when something like Mario 64 came out, and that was dope. Like at the time, you were just like, "Whoa, 3-dimensionals! Like who could fucking imagine that?" And
So
now,
you're 45, right?
right? Yeah, yeah. I'm in the near 500s.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm 28.
Yeah. I mean, same thing, really.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
Same
just
thing.
go, fucking 6 feet closer to dead. But yeah, I've seen it all, and I can only imagine where it's gonna go. And I've always liked to draw, and I'm more of a creature guy. Like I've literally within the last weekend watched the new Godzilla movie, and thought it was good merely on the fact that it was giant monsters fighting.
Mhm.
And people said, "Well, how are the story?" And I looked at them and was like, "There's a story?
Mhm.
I didn't care about that."
That seems like the type of movie where you don't care for the story. You're just there for the action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they were to just give me a movie with fucking explosions and giant creatures screaming, I'm
No, there's still
sold.
stuff like that. Like for example, I'm a Dragon Ball fan. You watch Dragon Ball for the action. You don't watch it for the plot.
Yeah, I agree. It's and then there's
'Cause
like,
that
a
shit does
Kingdom
not have a
Hearts
plot.
fan. You only watch it for zippers. You know?
We don't speak of Kingdom Hearts, man. That's
Yeah.
I thought it was for the keys.
The keychains.
No,
of
you
course.
go for the incredibly convoluted, most ridiculous story I've ever seen in a video game in my entire life.
Oh yeah, I want to know how much crack they were smoking for that.
Probably like all of it.
Yeah,
I'm out
but
there
we'll
Kojima's on it at any point in time.
yeah, and we'll get into that.
Oh yeah, that's
But,
definitely a thing. So then,
Yes,
Abdul.
Yeah.
Please.
So my thing at first, I didn't actually know what I was gonna do when I graduated high school.
So I like completely misjudged that.
Yeah,
I was the
yeah,
only one.
yeah.
You guys are just all here.
But
fumbling in the dark.
No, but the funny thing about it was mostly because I moved around so much. Like I never stayed in one high school more than a year.
Okay.
So like I was jumping around so much in
Right,
my
you're
last year.
outrunning the FBI.
Yeah,
I get
outrunning
it.
the FBI. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course. but like, yeah, I'm black by the way. That's what I'm thinking. So
Wait, you're black?
yeah, I know.
didn't hear it at
Shocking, right? You couldn't hear it
Yeah.
in my voice, but anyway.
Yeah, I just thought you were just some Carnegie white guy.
I thought you were just cool.
Fuck, that should have been our first
Yeah.
first mistake.
Yeah.
Cool. Yes.
But like, I didn't know what, because like my last year of high school, I was super pissed. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and like I was jumbling around, like you said, and then I got accepted into this public affairs like program at Carleton.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And my mom wanted me to help people, so I'm just like, okay.
Who wants to do that?
I don't know.
Losers.
Yeah, fucking.
I don't know. Like, I
small
see
brain.
somewhere in the back of my head, I knew this was a bad idea from the start because I can't write an essay to save my life.
That's a problem.
Yeah, especially if you're in something like that,
Yeah.
where it was a whole bunch of like I was in the library reading books, and I do not like reading books.
Yeah, icky.
Library.
Yeah, library. I know was so.
Did they
bad.
have games in the library?
No, they don't.
Oh
man.
no!
Not even
It was
Luke
a
de
hellhole.
Luke.
It was a hellhole, and after the first year, I just realized that this wasn't for me, and I dropped it.
Fair.
And then after that, I was looking around to see what I was interested in, what I wanted to do. And the funny thing about it was, prior to applying to Carleton, I saw the game development program at Algonquin or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, this is interesting, but I know my parents, and they're just gonna blast me for doing this or whatever.
Sure.
So I forgot about it. Right?
There's a joke in there.
There's a joke in there. There's a joke in there, but we won't.
If I was a better comedian, I'd find it. But
It probably has to do with Blast.
Renee, this is 2019, right? You gotta dial that back.
Yeah.
Hateful
We're not
minds
trying to
create
get shut
hateful
down.
kinds.
We're not
as
trying to get
John
shut down on the
Trump
first
says.
episode, okay? We're not trying to get shut down on the first episode.
Banned from every store we try to put this on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but anyway, afterwards, I'm just like, okay, well, I remember that program. I was like, okay, well, this experience taught me that if I want to do shit, I'm going to do it for myself, and I don't care what anybody else says.
Yeah,
Mhm.
fair.
So I went and applied, got accepted. The first year was bumpy because like I never had done anything like that before, and it was like a little up and down.
Fair, yeah.
But somewhere like
remember that.
towards the first 2 months of the second year rather, something clicked. And after that's been smooth sailing from there, and I really, really enjoyed what I was doing. So
Okay.
So you didn't? Did you have much like programming
none,
experience? Really?
nothing.
Oh man.
I didn't have any programming experience either going into this.
Yeah, but he's a programmer.
Yeah.
A good portion of programmers actually had like 0 to none.
And honestly, I felt like that helped me in the long run because I went into this super humble, wanting to learn, like not confident at all. Like I was like wanted to know this, so I was just like working nonstop at it, and like I think that helped me in the long run because I worked that much harder.
Mhm.
I didn't go with preconceived notions. I didn't go with any like I'm better than everybody else at this because I know it or whatever. Like so, I just went and did it, and
Which that's ironic
Done
because
one
you
more.
are.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway, that's it about me. So anyway,
Yeah, what's the next question?
Yeah. It's real simple. This one.
Yeah.
What's your favorite game?
Fair.
I'll start.
Yeah.
I think I can guess, but continue.
Maybe.
Ooh, Abdul,
So-
guess.
Yeah, just go for it.
Yeah, what do you
Is it
think?
Persona 3 or?
No,
Oh,
is
it's not.
it-
that's good.
Is it your rolling game?
Yes, I told you.
Oh,
It's
Katamari.
Katamari
Yeah.
Damacy,
Oh, okay,
the first one.
Okay.
I've literally cried just listening to the soundtrack. So there's something certain music does like
Enhance
Weird.
the game experiences.
that too, and yes, the music in Katamari Damacy is fantastic. But there's certain songs that like hit me weird in my brain
Right.
that like I just like break down. I really like game music. Not necessarily more than other kinds of music, but
But you find that the music is what attracts you to a game.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
like Nier, like the first one. The music is what made me
is that the one
play
with the
that.
book?
Yes.
There's a book that follows
Mhm.
you around. I've never played it.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah,
It's
I like
very
it.
good.
It's good.
And Nier Automata has just a
Automata,
good
absolutely.
soundtrack. Speaking of music, that's probably one of the reasons I love Persona so much.
Oh
The
my
music
God,
in those
so
games
good.
are fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Ridiculously
Yeah,
good.
my favorite is currently 5.
Mhm.
I'm playing through 3, and 3 is getting there. It's just some of the gameplay mechanics aren't as good as 5,
It's-
and that's to be expected.
yeah.
But other than that, everything else is great about it. But yeah, Persona 5 is my personal favorite.
Game
out of,
or
yeah, game or
Out of game, yes, period.
Oh, okay.
Really,
Yeah,
Persona 5.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
you're not.
I loved my experience playing that
You're
game.
not wrong. Oh, I also love Tetris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
I get it.
Yeah,
Tetris
that's
is
what
so
I was
good.
gonna.
Mr. Tetris
Yes.
Battle Royale.
Yeah,
It's so good.
that's fair.
It's fun. It's like the perfect
about you?
game.
Dave.
No, fuck Dave.
Yeah,
Tetris.
no,
It's a perfect game.
Keep talking Tetris. You go to Renee, man. I need to think. Like, I don't know
It's
what my
not-
favorite.
An easy question.
It's really not. Like I find it hard to pick my favorite game. Like if I'm going for like first game that like moved me, it was probably going to be Twilight Princess. Back on the Wii. Wii was my first actual console, so as
Wait,
proud of
seriously?
yes,
Damn.
I was broke as a kid, and technically
Not even a Game Boy or nothing?
no. My family was a little bit old fashioned, so video games are evil. So
Oh,
I-
it's mine too, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't get any of that. Like I had a Nintendo DS that one of my friends as a child gave me, but it was broken. The only game I had for it was Nintendogs, which I still love. I'm so happy that it's still a thing. But I'm like, probably Twilight Princess. I don't know. It's just, I fell into it. I think me and my sister, we played it together, and we probably completed it in a few days. And then we just replayed it. Like, it was one of those games that we finished it, and then we looked at each other, and we reset it, and made a new one, and we just played it again.
Mhm.
Like, I have so many fond memories of that game. Oh, it's so good. The music, I love the art and stuff for it, the storyline. It was, to me, it reminded me of the books I would read as a kid. Does anyone remember Warriors? Does anyone remember
books?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
I'd never read any of them, but I was aware.
Reading.
Reading?
Rich.
Gosh.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we read like Animorphs.
Our library, I remember, school had like 20 of
So
those
weird.
books.
Yeah.
Oh, does anyone remember the Magic Tree House? Was that
Yeah,
what it
I
was?
think I remember that.
Yeah, but they it's like a time travel thing. They go in the tree house and then they time travel to like,
No.
you know,
Is this like a Disney?
French Revolution.
What the
Get
fuck are
burned
you
as
talking
bridges?
about?
It's a
Yeah,
book.
when they're like cutting off the people's heads and everything.
Yeah, but you know, for kids.
Off with their heads.
Right. So like, there's dogs there, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, peeling.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
It was fun. Anyway,
Anyway,
Yeah.
It's fine.
Games.
Dave, did you think of any games you like?
I mean, there's so many.
if you don't answer, it's gonna be Fortnite.
Oh, I'm gonna answer because that's definitely not it. I'd say like
and before anyone says there's nothing wrong with Fortnite, we just don't like
No, yeah, it's not for me. But-
I think there's issues with Fortnite.
Well,
yeah, I
there's-
have issues with it.
Definitely
Sure.
issues, but
It did well.
you gotta sort of divorce fandom from, at least for our purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
because
kind of
like
have to, yeah.
something can be popular, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's good, right?
For
or
sure.
that it's bad.
Or that
Yeah.
it's bad.
or that it's
yeah.
bad. Yeah.
I think that its mechanics were actually sort of new and
See, I don't find it did anything revolutionary with mechanics.
The
I think
building.
the building. I
That-
had never seen that before in a shooter, and
Yeah.
that to me was like, wow, I would never have thought of that.
And that
Yeah.
is interesting.
It does, yeah. It adds a lot of crap to it, and everything I have seen, like when you
Mhm.
watch people build, you're just like, I can't do that. That's
Oh, the
Mhm.
super high towers.
yeah, or like when they're fighting in the towers, the trampolines and stuff, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, I'd rather not.
And that's cool. Like conceptually, that's cool.
Yeah,
I couldn't get into it.
same. It's
Well-
not my type of thing.
I would compare it to like Rocket League. It's a game that is just out there, and lots of people love it and die hard for it, but it's not everyone's thing.
But man, Rocket League is like, I don't know. Rocket League, I guess, makes more sense to me than.
I think it's more accessible. I know what you mean. Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just
Yeah.
a sport thing. Like
Yeah.
if you're not,
If you're not into it, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think for like my favorite game.
Mhm.
Fuck man, that's hard. Have you guys heard of Dragon's Crown?
I know of it.
You
I
know
haven't
of
played
it? Okay, so I recently bought it, and I play it for like an hour because I don't have a lot of time to do stuff anymore because adult life is boring and sucks. But like,
Don't become an adult, kids.
yeah, seriously,
Die young.
yeah, just off yourself when you're 15. It's fine.
Mhm.
It's all downhill from there. Yeah, it's a good game. Like, it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but I'm not really into those games. I would say honestly, if my favorite game is Red Dead 2, but
Okay.
it's more of how the game plays out. If it was a little bit more my thing, like if it wasn't a Western, and if it was something else but with the same mechanics, I would fall in love with the game. Because Westerns are literally my least favorite, but it still manages to be like amazing.
So like mechanically, or
Yeah, mechanically. Like if it was
like you like playing it, you don't.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I could care less about the cowboy theme, but if it was like a fantasy game with the exact same mechanics, like if it was Witcher but played like Red Dead Redemption 2, you would never see me again.
That's
That's just
really
be
because
close.
like
yeah.
Online is out on that game, right? At least on consoles, because the
Online?
PC. Yeah.
It's been out for a bit.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
man.
The PC might get okay.
I mean, if they ever release it, no.
I think it got a release date in E3. I could be wrong.
I didn't see a thing.
I don't know.
That reminded me though, like when you said Red Dead Redemption 2 or whatever, it reminded me of old games and like old online ones. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood online.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty
Does anyone remember playing that?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I played it with my friend. It's just not what you expected, right? Like the mechanics on how the online mode worked. It was just
Wasn't that like you weren't sure who the killer was?
Yeah,
and you
you-
guys have to like go around. It's very like Clue,
Yeah.
except
you all pick a different character and you all like morph into the crowd, and then one player is picked as the
like killer.
or I think you were
assassin.
given a pair, like you have to kill someone else and you have to find them in the crowds and stuff, but all the crowds are all the characters you picked.
Yeah, it's definitely for taking the Assassin's Creed model, it's definitely interesting. I did play it, but it didn't have a lot of staying power. I didn't want to go back to it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I was young, but we also played it at the end of its life, so trying to get into a match was like back in the day with that old internet. It took us 20 minutes to get into a match, and then you played it for what, the 8 minutes or 10
Yeah.
minutes you're there, and then it was right back to,
Yeah.
you lost interest pretty quickly, but it was fun.
So, do we have another question?
Well, I mean, it's not really a question, but I was thinking the other day.
Mm-hmm.
This was a while ago.
Right.
There aren't that many playable old women,
Okay.
and I'm not
Oh,
talking.
are you?
and this, no, honest to God,
You
it's
saw,
not about the Watch Dogs thing that they
Okay.
just did.
yeah.
And I just thought about that. Remember earlier, I was like, "Oh, I got a question,"
Yeah.
because I had thought
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh shit, this is the first playable old woman in any game."
That-
And I'm not saying like Bayonetta, who's like 500 years old.
That's
I'm
Anna Eraser from Overwatch.
Okay. Yes.
Fair.
So
She
there's
looks
two.
like she's 40, but she's like 70,
I'm
right?
sure there's got to be more. I mean, you could probably get into like fighting games.
Okay,
No,
but like an
get
old
into
woman
it.
that actually plays like an old woman, like you see
An
her,
old, yeah,
Old woman.
an
you
old
see her in
woman.
the trailer.
But we're like, are we?
Speaking of
are we
that-
exclusively? Is this exclusively an age thing or an age sex thing? Are we
Age,
talking
sex. It's got to be like,
an old
oh, that's a
woman?
grandma.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know. That's
That's a weird question.
well, yeah,
But it's-
I mean,
There's
you
tons
brings
of
up a
old
point.
men,
Yeah,
Even
I was
like-
gonna say.
like feeble, decrepit old men, like Dr. Boskanovich in Tekken. Do you know
yeah,
this
I was,
guy?
just, I was just gonna bring up
Yeah.
Tekken. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
or,
I was just about to say Tekken.
or Wang in Tekken.
yeah,
Like Master Wang. He's like, like big long beard.
or even what is it? The Metal Gear Solid 4. You're playing an older
Old Snake.
old Snake.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I guess, but not a lot of old women. I guess. Huh?
No.
Diversity, people. Yay.
yeah, looking it up, like there's not a lot. Like I think the main people saying is like,
I don't know that Watch Dogs and when they're showing it, I'm just sitting there thinking about like
It's an interesting.
instead of like being here's the thing, here's how my mentality works now. Instead of thinking, oh, this is a really cool thing, I'm thinking, how the hell did they do this? Right?
Your character.
Where it's like,
yeah.
how did they do this? Where like any NPC in the entire game can just join your party, all the dialogue's there, all their backstories, all there, all
That's not.
there's no way you could have programmed all of them. There's got to be a general pool or some shit like
But
that.
that's how they did it. No,
Yeah.
like if you think about it, that has to like it's similar to what we did with like a character.
Yeah.
And you're switching the controllers a character to just a new thing. It's just switching skins. Everyone uses the same thing, but there's probably like
Well, there's
for
different
example,
classes of
different.
people.
Yeah, there's like probably insert old people class, insert like young, and there's probably two walk variations.
Yeah.
And then you do something like that, and then it's got to be some sort of limitation.
Because I'm thinking about them like there's no way each of them are individually made like that. That's
No, of
not
course not.
possible. That's not possible.
No, well, it's not. It's not that it's not impossible.
Well,
it's like,
it
why would you
way
do,
too fucking long.
Yeah.
It'd be way too inefficient.
Why would you do that? Yeah,
There's got to be something to it, but it has this neat appeal that you can literally just be like anyone, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, that's not how that actually works. At least that's the way I was thinking of it or whatever. But like, it's a cool feature, and if it actually functions properly, I might actually be interested in a Watch Dogs game for the first time in history.
Apparently, Watch Dogs 2 is not a bad game.
My brother played it a lot.
Watch Dogs 1 left way too bad a taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I agree.
Talk about bad E3 fucking showings. And
Yeah.
speaking of bad E3 fucking showings, you
Yeah,
want to get into
that's-
Bethesda?
Next episode.
We're gonna keep that on the table.
Episode 1.
Keep that anger
3.
inside for a little
Look
bit more.
forward to it.
I'm very angry.
So what is our leaving comment for this one, that we demand more old women in video games?
Yeah.
Greater diversity?
Yeah. Gilfs in games.
Yeah,
.com.
Hashtag Gilfs in Games. Let's make it a thing, people.
Alright.
Anyway, how are we signing off?
Like that.